Jeez, that's intense.
What
That
up?
makes me want to work out every time I watch that video. I'm like pumped now. I'm ready to go to the gym.
You look pumped.
Thanks.
Just listening to it made you look pumped.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. FYI, if there's any Dodgers fans out there, I do have the game going right here so we can check in when the Dodgers start to lose. Right now it's tied 2-2 in the top of the sixth. There's 2 outs, and the Dodgers have a guy on third in scoring position.
Shoot. Boo. Go Braves.
Anyway, y'all know I'm a pretty big baseball fan here. Actually, I'm
Pump
a
up
baseball
the
nerd.
jams. Pump it up.
People love – no, let me rephrase that. People hate when they open the door for me to start talking about baseball. About 30 minutes into the conversation, they realize I shouldn't have mentioned baseball to you.
Only just people that don't watch baseball.
Yeah, that's true. Don't come at me like you're a baseball fan and then not sit and talk about Babe Ruth. And,
Do you know who you're talking to?
yeah, and like go back to the 1930s and the East Side, you know, and the polo grounds and all that. Anyway, I'm LT. I'm an alcoholic addict. Welcome to Recovering Addict. This is a show about substance abuse.
About baseball.
That's a show about baseball.
Just kidding.
There's no crying in baseball.
Ah, best movie ever made.
And we talk about education. We talk about addiction. We talk about the good side, the bad side. We're here to support y'all and to hopefully educate y'all and to have you come and join a community that's larger than us that's here to support you as well. We have a Discord, and if you're not in the Discord, that's where you want to be. You can meet people from around the world, and it's crazy because this world is huge, right? And addiction does the same thing to every continent on the face of this planet. It destroys lives. It kills people, and it's not cool. And so we are here to break that stigma, to let everybody know it's okay to talk about it. The guy that runs the Other Side of Hell podcast, his name's Will. He has a saying. He says, recover out loud. And it's true, man. We plaster it on our shirts and hats now, and it's people know what we're about. I've had the most intimate conversations over this last year and a half just from wearing a hat that says Recovering Addict. People don't have to guess what we are, what we're about. They come up. Sometimes they come up and give us high fives. I'm clean too. I'm in recovery. Yeah. Cool. Other times they come up and their heart's broken and they can't even get the first few words out of their mouth and their chin starts quivering. And what do we do at that moment? I just put my arms out. I don't even know these people sometimes. I'm just like, come here, bring it in. And they bring it in. And I'm like hugging a stranger right there on the sidewalk. It's awesome.
That's way cool.
New passion in life. Love people. Love them, love them, love them. Sorry, LT. Go Dodgers. Oh my gosh. Do they?
Actually, go Sox. Is it the Red Sox or the white ones or the black ones?
Red Sox.
Red ones. Go Red Sox.
Red Sox are playing Houston. And I have to root for Houston because their second baseman, Jose Altuve, is 5'7". Us little dudes got to stick together.
Altuve is pretty cool.
Altuve is awesome.
Is it supposed to be like that? Or is it falling off? Oh.
How's that? I must be like inhaling.
Breathes in real hard.
Huge. Roar out freaking loud. Out freaking loud. I don't get it. Is my
recovering out loud.
Emily, I am so bummed the Giants lost too. And it kind of sucks. I mean, the Giants weren't playing great in that whole series. They didn't get very many hits, but man, the Dodgers don't want to win a game like that. He didn't even break his wrists when he checked his swing on that third out in the 9th inning. But whatever. We're not here to talk about baseball.
No, we're here to talk about Roar. Let's recover out loud. Something like that.
So yeah, I'm LT. I'm alcoholic addict. 2 times in my life, I hit rock bottom 2 times. Meth in the early 2000s, alcohol in my late 30s, rehab detox. I have now 2 years sober. Love and life. Started a foundation, a nonprofit called Recovering Addict right here. Pow, what you are witnessing and watching. And that's what we do. We jump on here. Tonight, we're going to read an article, and we have a lot to get into. So I'm just going to jump right into it. After Felice says hi to everybody in the chat.
I go to say hello to you all. What up, Jim? Winner. Took your dinner. He's the winner. Teeter's mad because his team probably lost. Booed Broncos. What's up, Amanda Cook? Hello, all my favorite people. Don't ask me nothing, Teeter. Ask LT.
He's really crying, isn't he?
Probably. What's up, Nicole? Sunday fun days. So
Nicole Crabtree in the house.
What's up? I'm going to bed. Have a good show.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Teeter. Hi, Sheree. Love you.
Dustin Elliott, welcome.
Who else we got? Jeanette. And good job, Jeanette. You've made goals and you're sticking to them. And I love that you're posting about it on Facebook, about your workout stuff. Very cool. Proud of you. What's up, Brad?
Let me jump in here on Amanda Rogers real quick.
Okay.
She says, first time on here in 8 days, I will be clean for a year. Woo! That's awesome. Came across your channel
Recovery
5 days ago when I almost, imagine that was meant to say relapsed. Thank you, getting me back into recovery. Amen, Amanda. That's why we're here.
Awesome.
We have a motto. Everybody put it in the chat. We know the motto. We recover better together. We have a new member of our home group, which our home group is our Recovering Addict local program we have at a gym downtown. And she says, find your tribe. Find a tribe and stick with them. And her husband came to our meeting last Friday. He's like, you know what's kept me clean for 17 years? He goes, I stay in the middle of the herd.
Yeah.
And they got their, they got their packs. He's got his little tribe and they're sober riders, ride motorcycles and stuff. And that's what they do. He sticks with those guys in 17 years of his life. He's still going to meetings. He's still in recovery and he wouldn't have it any other way. Amanda, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching.
That's my new favorite analogy. Like I immediately pictured it like with people though. And like if you're on the outside, you're like, bye.
Yeah, you got to get in the middle. Jump right on in. And once you find a tribe you like and you love, jump in, join them, become a part of them. As human beings, we're designed and stuff to just like connect, right? Humans can't live without humans. Humans need humans. I imagine maybe you've heard that before. We need each other. And once you belong to a group, especially in recovery, belong so well that if you're not there, like something's missing. Like we need that, you know? And that's the kind of find your tribe type stuff we're talking about, the stick in the middle of your herd and get your stuff together. And we're going to go through an article here in just a sec. As soon as Fleece is finished saying
Shout out
hello
to Bill.
everybody.
Bill's the one that told us that. Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, Bill said that.
Bill says hi.
Hi, Bill. If my
What's up,
microphone's
Rolo?
too loud, let me know. John V, can I get a
Is
microphone
it
check?
his microphone or his voice?
Because then I can just adjust it like this. Maybe I should just put it right there.
And Nicole Brower. We got Sean. Oh, yeah. I wanted to shout out JV. Go check him out.
Venture Forward. Check out John V.
John is amazing. We love him. Who else is in this chat that I didn't? Brittany. Welcome, Brittany. Welcome, Debbie. Hey, Tracy again. What's up, Bill? I said hi to you. Lori Trujillo. Well, hello. 6:30.
Lori.
I found my note. It's 6:30. The
Cool.
Genesis Project.
Oh, 6:30?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Let's see. Who else? Amelia. Nice to see you. I haven't seen that name before.
Hello, Amelia. Welcome to the
Or
channel.
if I have, I missed it and I apologize. Yeah. Super bummed the Giants lost. No, cool. Michelle Happel. It's good to see you, man.
Hey, Michelle.
Thanks for always hitting me up on Messenger and saying hi. And I think that is everybody. Jamie
Look at that.
Rose.
We recover better together.
Yeah.
We recover better together. I just saw somebody first time, or maybe let me
Kelly
see.
Williams. That one? From Southern California.
Hello, visiting from Southern California. Together is so much better. Heck yes, it is. We recover better together. Yes, yes, yes.
We recover better.
And Jamie is shouting out John because
Morgan
she
Green.
knows. She
What
knows from
up? Dustin
experience.
Elliott. I missed all kinds of people. Carla Bell.
Yeah, she missed a lot of people. Sorry.
What the heck? It must have just jumped. It does that sometimes. It's dumb.
Christina, 311 USS. Kind of new.
311.
Glad you're here.
Whoop, whoop.
Viva
That's
Los
probably not the
Dodgers,
band.
Quinn Cole is saying. Hey, Quinn, check this out. I got the game going right here just for you, bud, because it's 2-2, and they're going to lose tonight again. No, we said Morgan. She said it. You can rewind it
I
and
went
see.
back and said, hi, Morgan.
And Morgan, we're going to hit your comment when we get
After I forgot you.
when we get through this article. So things we're going to cover tonight. We're going to read an article of 5 reasons you'll never get sober. Oh, that sounds negative, but you know, it's something to think about. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the questions and comments from the Discord. Third thing we're going to do is we are going to jump into page 113 in our book, Staying Sober. That is the schedule for tonight's channel. And right now we're going to get into it. So if you go to a website called Sober Nation, and when we're finished with this article, I will put the link in the link is in the description, but I will put a link in the comments as well. But it says 5 reasons you'll never get sober. Getting sober is hard. Tell me it's not hard. And I'll tell you you're lying.
It's as hard as watching my little brother drive a 1986 Diamondback up a steep mountain that's
That
muddy.
was a fun story.
About 5 throw-ups later, he made it.
Yeah, he puked 5 times. So look, it's very strange phenomenon. With all the pain, heartbreak, trouble with the law, family turmoil, ill health, that goes hand in hand with addiction. In some ways, it's easier to continue using drugs. When you look at how much heartache the drugs have caused, and if you want to get sober and to come out of that physically, mentally, and look around and see what you've done relationally, you're like, screw it, man. It's just easier to continue using. And a lot of people do, sad to say. Getting sober requires, number 1, action. A phone call. I need help. Reaching out. Getting involved. It requires doing things that you don't want to do. That's life in general. That's why when I say come to our local program, commit to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do it even when you don't want to. Make that top priority. Obviously, things happen in life and you can't make it when legit stuff comes up, but make that your top priority. It requires doing things you don't want to do, it goes on to say. Most importantly, it requires you to have faith that in some way, somehow, this is going to pay off. You just take the jump, right? That's why they call it a leap of faith. To get sober demands blind faith that what you are doing today is somehow going to pay off in the future. And that's very uncomfortable. We're like, what? This work I don't get instant gratification from right now is going to pay off later and I got to wait? It is against the nature of the majority of people, right? That's why drug addicts oftentimes find comfort in their misery. What? Drug addicts find comfort in their misery? Ponder that for a second and tell me if this is true. It's predictable, right? It's predetermined. If I take this pill, if I drink this drink, if I sniff this line, I'm going to feel a certain way in a certain amount of time, guaranteed. See the easy way out there? We love it because we know as soon as I drink that pint of whiskey, in 15 minutes to 30 minutes, my mood, my mind, everything's going to change. Where recovery is slow steps, day by day, 24 hours a day. And then you look back. That's why we always say, look back at how far you've come, because then do you realize and see what actually has been done. So you got to give it time. You got to be patient. Sobriety has been a doorway into the life of freedom that only those who have been shackled by addiction will ever understand. The problem is you'll never know what that freedom feels like if you don't get sober. And this person says, sorry. Unless, of course, you can get out of your comfort zone. Who's stuck in their comfort zone tonight, this weekend? Did anybody get out and try new things? Did anybody get out and work their program, meet some people, get into a recovery world, lifestyle, healthy, anything? Get out of your comfort zone. That's one of the first things you got to do. If you can overcome the roadblocks, you will have everything you need to get sober and stay sober. And you know what? You can find freedom. It is possible. So number 1, let's get started. You can't get honest with yourself. So if there is reason number 1 for why you're not going to get sober, this is it. You can't get honest with yourself. The article says, let's not sugarcoat this. Getting honest with yourself is not easy. It is much easier to live in denial. The problem is you can't hide from the truth. I've always considered it to be one of those universal truths. No matter what happens, you always know in your heart what the truth is. It's much like being in love or knowing if you did your best or not. You just know inside your heart and gut what the truth is. It's just that shame and guilt. You know, but that's the one you just have to shut it down and say, shut up. Getting honest with yourself requires you to be exposed and to be vulnerable. It requires that you see yourself for what you really are. If you want to get sober, you are going to admit that there is a problem. It requires that you see yourself for what you really are. Ooh, man, that's a punch in the gut. You're going to have to admit your faults, your insecurities, your mistakes, your lies, and find out where that void is really coming from. You're going to be exposed. You got to expose yourself. And it's kind of weird. I remember my first time in my IOP, the honest conversations in this context here of being open and honest. And I started coming out of my shell, getting out of my comfort zone, being open and honest. It was like a breath of fresh air. You ever had your heads under the blankets too long and it's just like, oh, I can't breathe under here. And all of a sudden you pull it out and it's that nice cool air from the window being open. That's what that honesty feels like in a group session. The second reason you won't stay sober is you're unwilling to do the work. Unwilling to do the work. Sobriety is not free, okay? Recovery from any substance requires work. It requires you taking the time and making the long-term commitment to yourself. And it sucks.
I like that. Sobriety's not free.
This article is awesome. Link is in the description. Check them out. Sober Nation. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. Do you have to quit a job to stay sober? Quit it. That's my suggestion. Do whatever the hell you want. Okay? I'm just here to give advice. You have to be willing to go to that meeting when your favorite TV show's on. I don't feel like it. I'm just going to sleep in. I'm going to lay under the covers. It's warm in the house. I don't feel like driving that far. I'm not going to be able to eat. I might get hangry. Go to the meeting. You have to be willing to say no to that party or to work on your recovery on a Saturday morning. I can't work this Saturday. Recovery comes first, because if I don't go to this meeting on Saturday and go to work on Saturday instead, Monday, I may relapse. Especially in early recovery. The first year of recovery, get into it as much and as deep and surround yourself with it, and eat and ingest any form of education and content, books, people, podcasts, Audible, all that stuff as you can. Learn, rewire your brain. The reason you will never get sober is because you expect these good things to just happen. Like, oh, it's just going to happen one day. Well, I'll quit one day and all this stuff's just going to happen. No, you got to work for it. You expect to be sober and happy without making sacrifices. That's not the way it works. If you want to get sober, you must earn it. You really do. Sobriety is not free for those that want it, or even for those who need it. It's for those that do it. Ooh, I like that. Let me drop that in the comments. Go ahead. Address anything.
Oh, we had a lot of people in here say they tried some new things. Very cool. The will must come before the want. Thanks, Jim. That's real good. Let's see. Sober's therapist says busy stands for because you said yes. That's true.
Sean, I was thinking about that the other day, and it's hard to determine what your higher power, what you want. What am I trying to? I just got tongue tied like crazy. It's hard to determine what your higher power wants you to do, right?
Okay. I would have never got that.
Like, what decision do I make? And so I look at it like opportunities, right? Opportunity comes your way. Say yes. Obviously, there's a balance in life. And if you're a photographer, you can't say yes to every gig, right? That kind of thing. But if there's opportunities, say yes. At least give it a shot. Head your feet in that direction. And if God wants you there, he's going to make it come about, right? If he doesn't, he's going to push you off the path and shut it down. At least give it a shot. That's one way I've determined. Opportunity? Oh, okay. Let me try. No, wasn't of God. Opportunity? Yeah, let me try. Whoa, it turned into this. Okay. That's what my higher power wants me to do.
Mm-hmm. Tree says to be a sponge when you're in those meetings and listen to people who've been through it. Be a sponge. Oh, that's cool, Brian. My sponsor and I went all out, drove 1,800 miles round trip this weekend to attend an alumni speaker meeting at a treatment center. That's a fun road trip.
That's a road trip.
Very cool.
That's cross country. Dang. That's awesome, dude. 900 miles there and back.
No. Oh, no, right there. Well put, LT. For me, it's all about balance.
Yeah, balance is a great thing. It's a necessity of life. Look what she said. I want my spirituality so fit it has an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Me too. And that's why we've been doing what we've been doing.
I want mine as fit as LT's calves.
Oh, yeah. Those are given at birth. That's genetics. All right. So back to our article. The number 3 reason you won't get sober is you refuse to have an open mind, it says. For most addicts, recovery is completely new way of life. Completely a new way of life. It's an alien. And it's strange and confusing. In order to get clean and sober, you must be open-minded to new ideas. You got to be open-minded to the new idea, the new opportunity, and then you got to jump and try it. That's why next Friday at 5:00, if you're a part of our local program, we're going to play laser tag. It's a kids game. So what? We're going to go learn how to be kids again and have fun. If you are stuck in your ways, if you are convinced that you know best, guess what? You're never going to get sober. Here's your sign. Suggestions will be made that you won't understand. Suggestions are going to be made that you won't understand. For instance, I remember my sponsor, this guy says, told me that he wanted me to do something that would help somebody else. And he didn't want me to tell anyone about it. Go help somebody, make that person feel good, and then don't tell nobody you did it. That's a challenge for everybody this week, myself included and Felice. We're all going to go out. Everybody, give me a thumbs up in the comments if you accept this challenge. This week, raise your right hand. This week, I will go do something nice for somebody, and I will not tell anybody about it. That's a good challenge.
Scout's honor, because we'll never know.
This guy goes on to say, at that time, I thought it was the single dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Why wouldn't you tell somebody? Why wouldn't I want my good deeds recognized? Or why wouldn't I want to speak about someone who needs help? It didn't make no sense. But he was open-minded, and he gets it now. He's like, I can't explain it to you. You have to be open-minded to discover these things for yourself. Thumbs up for the challenge. Get her done.
There's lots of thumbs ups in there.
If you think you know best, and if you're closed-minded, you won't stay sober. You may get sober for a short time, but eventually your own mind will convince you that you were right all along. Off to the races. Casey Scott said that, and I'm about to drop a video with him speaking in it, but he went to a meeting, and it was NA. He was an alcoholic, and it was actually Cocaine Anonymous or something like that. And they did some Indian tribal stuff, and he thought they were crazy. But he tried it, and it worked for him. So you got to be open-minded. You got to get out there and check it out. If it doesn't work for you, try something else. Anything?
Lots of thumbs ups.
Good. That's kind of weird, huh? Like, yeah, we're going to go do it, but we're not going to tell nobody. That's weird.
Yeah, we'll never know if you really did it. So just do it.
It's for you and you only. And recovery at the end of the day is for you and you only. If I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of nothing. So therefore, at the end of the day, I got to do it for me. Right? And this is going to be for you, something that you and your higher power only know about, and that person, whoever you did that to. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. Tracy likes sweat lodges.
I meant to ask Bill if he's ever done one of those. What's it called? Sweat huts?
That's what that is.
Oh, you guys like that? Okay.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one, Tracy. We went to a 4-hour sweat lodge one time. I don't know. It was probably longer than 4 hours, but it was like a legit sweat lodge. 4 different sessions, praying to the northeast, south, and west. I thought it was cool. People that do it, that's cool. But for me,
one time
I tried
only.
that once and it didn't work. I was open-minded. I went in there. I dove in that little hut. They brought in the rocks. I sang the songs and I spoke when it was my turn. And I thought I was going to die.
I feel like it wouldn't be as bad if there's only like 10 people in it, not 24
we
people.
We did have 24 people in there.
I feel like that would be better.
Yeah, if I could have stretched out, I could have probably made it.
We was like, I think most of it was just being cramped and not being able to like move to where you could breathe.
Worst experience of my life.
Yep.
No, it wasn't. But I won't do it again. I'll tell you that. All right, the number 4th reason. I love this one. The number 4 reason you're not going to stay sober is that you don't have any stamina. Tell me if you've seen this before. The article goes on to say, you're fresh out of rehab. You're on fire. Woo! Some people call it the pink cloud, I believe. You're participating in your recovery. You're taking suggestions. Hey, get out of here. You're doing everything you can. You get maybe 9 months of clean time, and you say to yourself, I could probably take it easy now. You sprint right out the gate in your recovery, but eventually you die down. Slowly, old thoughts and obsessions start to creep in. You tell yourself you don't need to go to that therapy appointment, or you know already everything you need to know, right? There we go. Denial and know-it-all. 3 months later, you're lying on the bathroom floor with a few empty bottles off the bottom shelf liquor store, right? From the bottom shelf at the liquor store. It happens all the time. This person says, I know, it's happened to me. I've learned that recovery is a lifelong process that requires stamina. It requires you to take your life a step at a time and not get stuck in the past or the future. It requires you to be present. If you don't have stamina, you may suffer the most unfortunate result of all. That is to spend your entire life being miserable. We are here for addiction. We are here to quit the drugs and alcohol, but the other part of our thing, the other part of the program, the other part of our message, our vision is to live a life and be happy and not be miserable.
Yeah.
And you can do it. It's possible. I've seen it done. And the fifth reason you'll never get sober or clean is you simply don't want it. This person says, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen. Let's pretend that you are drunk or high or in withdrawal. You're begging and pleading for help. Your family members and loved ones are crushed from what they are witnessing, yet you keep on drinking. Why would a person keep doing this to themselves? It's actually very simple. It's what they want to do. I find that people almost always get what they want. If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to get it. We can all attest to the miraculous achievements addicts have made when they really, really wanted to get high. And that's a fact of life right there. They can turn pennies into dollars. They can find transportation. They can come up with ingenious ways to manipulate. In some ways, active drug addicts are superhumans. Imagine if they put that energy into their recovery. So then why don't they? Why didn't we?
$1 question.
And when you do, I did. I've taken my focus. If you guys would have met me as a meth addict, I scared people away from me. Like, you're too crazy. You come up with too many crazy schemes and ideas. This is insane. I don't want to do drugs with you no more. You're scary. Same when I was drinking. No matter how much your family begs you or how many times you get arrested, you will need to want to stay sober more than you want to drink. It's really that simple. The article goes on to say, in the Sober Nation article, it says, I don't make any promises, but it's all worth it. I never use the words, trust me. If someone says those words to me, I immediately think they're lying. Trust me. Oh, crap. Or let me be honest with you. That's another one. But this is the one thing in life I have found true, to be absolutely certain of. If you can be honest about yourself, if you are willing to do the work, if you can be open-minded to new concepts you may not understand, then you can get sober. Most importantly, if you want it bad enough, you can live the life that you have always wanted. It's absolutely possible, and I believe in you. It doesn't happen overnight, but I can promise you that anyone who has done the work will tell you that it was all worth it. I don't think anyone who has done the work will tell you that being sober is not worth the sacrifice. These people know what is to be completely free.
What it is.
These people know what it is to be completely free. Take it from me. Take it from Felice. Take it from everybody else in the chat that has time under their belt. We know what it is to be free. It's worth the sacrifice, and it is completely all worth it. Trust me. Go ahead.
Cherie says, must go to any lengths for your sobriety.
Yeah, 100%.
Sober says, that's why interventions often don't work. We've got to want it, not those around you. Yeah, even though they want it, you got to want it too. Not those around you. A lot of the times is going in one ear and out the other until the consequences have gotten bad enough. That's very true. Camera move. It has become a staple of the stream.
You have to timestamp that for me, and then I got to Google it and see why. Why does it do that? It's like the mirror shuts off or something. Like,
maybe
my thing shuts off. I don't know if the mirror move. That doesn't have a mirror. It's a mirrorless camera. What am I talking about? I don't know why it does
He's talking about nothing.
I
As you guys can see, though, can you see him? Mark? What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
See the dangly arms?
And yeah, if you notice, I got my Australia, UK, and Utah clock spec on the wall.
Check out the sweet samurai swords.
We got samurai swords. Felice had since she was a little kid.
My mom brought those back for me from Spain.
They are from Spain. Yeah, that was a good article. If you
I'm
want
distracted.
the link to that article, it is in the description of this video on all platforms. I've had a few years, then forgotten how bad it was. Yeah, we got to keep in the forefront. That's another good reason to continue to go to meetings. We got to listen to a couple people read their step 1 the other day, and it just takes you back to how ugly it is. And you're like, thank God I'm not there no more.
Did you read Jamie's? It's knowing what stage of change a person's in. I like that.
100%.
Sometimes you're just a little piece of someone's story. Like something you said could affect them 10 years down, hopefully not that long, down the road. And that's what helped them in their recovery, even though at the time when you talked to them, they were still deep into their addiction.
Amen, Jeanette. Des Cook. Good day, mate. Almost 19 years sober, 24/7 working recovery. It has to be done. Wow. 19 years. Take it from Des, everybody. Nicole says, shaving my head is something I have wanted to do for 30 years. Mother bit her tongue, and in our dysfunctional relationship, it is huge.
Oh, she didn't be like, why'd you do that? That's cool.
That's cool.
I did it twice. I've shaved my head twice now.
Yeah. She looks good with short hair.
It's pretty fun. Until it gets to that weird stage, and you just put a hat on.
Yes, Michelle. We would love a Canada clock.
Yeah, we need a Canada clock.
All right. Y'all know what time it is. Discord question of the day. And the first question comes from our very own Jim Hartley. He says, what is the difference between being addicted to something and being dependent on the same thing? I'm going to cover this one quick, and it's going to be very informative from the Addiction Center. The difference between addiction and dependency can be difficult to understand. Some organizations have different definitions, use the words interchangeably, or even abandon them both altogether. Substance use disorder, that's the new thing in town, according to that DM5, is a preferred term in the scientific community. Because of this lack of consistency, it's hard to differentiate between addiction and dependency. When people use the term dependency, they are usually referring to physical dependency on a substance. Dependency is characterized by symptoms of tolerance and withdrawal. While it is possible to have physical dependency without being addicted, addiction is usually right around the corner. Go to the dentist, you got to get some Loratab. Maybe you take Loratab for a week, and you come off of it for 3 or 4 days, and that's a physical dependency you had on it, but you're not addicted. But had you continued to use, you would have turned into an addiction. Addiction is marked by a change in behavior, you see, caused by the biochemical changes in the brain after continued substance use. Why do we say work a program, try new things, be open-minded, and get out of the box and do it? Because we have chemically altered our minds with how much we abused. Now take your drug use history, divide that by whatever. If you used alcohol for 10 years and you did it daily, your program's going to be a program that needs to be worked more intense and harder. Got it? Substance use becomes the main priority of the addict, regardless of the harm they may cause to themselves or others. An addiction causes people to act irrationally when they don't have the substance that they are addicted to in their system. So you're looking at dependency. My body could be physically dependent on some type of a chemical for a short time, but I'm not addicted to it because my behavior hasn't changed to continue to grab that chemical and put it in my body, right? Now, addiction, on the other hand, is now I'm robbing, stealing, lying, cheating, manipulating, hiding, sleeping, whatever for my addiction or my physical dependency on something. Hope that answers your question, Jim. Our second question of the day comes from Kitty245. How to build up your self-esteem, self-worth in early recovery. These are important when it comes to relapse prevention. Also, would like to hear or see how to set goals. First and foremost, I would say look good, feel good, right? Get up and get ready for the day. Brush your teeth, comb your hair, get dressed in clean clothes, and feel good. That's going to start giving you a little bit more confidence right out of the gate, right first thing in the morning. And do small things around the house that make you feel good, right? that could start help building your self-esteem up. Any advice on the self-esteem thing?
A lot of people that are in our group, they talk about mirror work, where they look in the mirror and they're like, I'm pretty, I'm worth it, I'm this. And it starts to kind of resonate in their brain. And it's almost like really you're re-brainwashing yourself. Because with low self-esteem, you're constantly like, I'm not worth it, I'm not this, or this and that. But now you got to be like, well, I am worth it. I do these things. And also surround yourself with positive people, or even just be one of those positive people and watch how it wears off on everybody around you. That's what I would say.
Yeah, self-esteem and self-worth. Self-worth, I would get around a bunch of addicts. And that's what I try to tell everybody. I probably haven't said it for a little while and I need to. But us addicts need to be complimenting each other on our small achievements. That's why I set up that goals tab. If you go into the Discord, you see goals, I did it, and go in there. People are just making small goals. Like tomorrow, I'm going to make my bed. Get up, make your bed, and that gives you value. You've achieved something. You get up, you get ready, you feel good, you look good. Brittany says it all the time, look good, feel good, right? Talking about Brittany right there. And just do those small things. In early recovery, there's a thing called take it easy, right? Easy does it. And that's one rule that I never hung on to, as Des could attest for. Since the first day I met Des about a year and 8 months ago, he's all, easy does it, mate. And I'm like, okay.
What's that mean?
What does that mean?
I am.
But easy does it. Like every day, take small goals that aren't going to stress you out. Here's one example of a small goal. And this is where I have applied that to my recovery to achieve something that I want to achieve. As an addict, I'm very impulsive. I'm very, just like all of us, right? I'm very give it to me now, instant gratification type thing. And so to sit down, read a book, I feel like I have to go from the cover to cover in order, every chapter, every page, or I get just like it's an OCD thing maybe inside me. So, and I want to continue with my spiritual condition. I'm like Jamie, I need my spiritual condition to have an 8-pack. So my goal was to get up at the same time every morning. 6:30 is where my alarm is set. So 6:30, I get up, I go through 3 devotionals, then I come back to my library back here. And I told myself, you're just going to pick a book at random and you're going to read it for like 5 minutes, maybe 10. If it's good, just keep going. And I kind of just go with the flow of the reading. And I didn't try to stress myself out like, oh, I better pick up that book because that's the book I have my bookmark in and that's the one I read yesterday. And oh my God, I better finish that book before I move to that book. No, screw it. I'm just going to grab this one, flip it to the middle and start reading. What's wrong with that? And that's something new that I had to try. And it's actually changed the way I feel throughout the rest of the day. It was a great goal that I've set. It's a great goal that I'm continuing to do. And I've connected with people through this app on the Bible that we just do little devotionals. It's awesome. So that's what I would say. And that kind of covers all 3 questions.
Yeah, there's lots of suggestions in the chat too. Like what they all had to say.
Yeah, keep it up, chat. And Brittany says, can you give advice or tips on going into inpatient treatment for drugs and mental health? Absolutely. I volunteered to go in and I'm extremely nervous, but excited. I can totally relate. I quit drinking, right? And going to the hospital was the first thing I had to do because I had to go into detox. As soon as I got out of it, and that was a scary thing, but I was belligerent drunk. So it was kind of a thing that just happened, like God doing through me what I can't do for myself type thing. And then I got out and I took about 2 weeks off of work and I built a deck. But I knew as soon as I was done building this deck, I was going to an intense outpatient program, 5 nights a week, 3.5 hours every night. And I was actually there for 5 months. Sticking to like, what did we do in recovery, right? I mean, in addiction, we always say we're going to do stuff and we never follow through. So now that you're committed to do it, follow through with it. That'll be the first and easiest step for you. I'm going to follow through with something I've committed to. And then kind of just like grabbing a book off the shelf, just kind of let it go from there. Because sometimes I sit down and I read a book and I'm like, wow. And all of a sudden I read the whole chapter and I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. That was awesome. And then my mood's changed and I'm praying. And that's what I guarantee that will happen. You'll get into the rehab or wherever you're going, start to get to know the people. These people become your tribe for a little bit, a great tribe, a deep tribe, because everybody's at that same place. a connected tribe and listen to each other. So I went in, I didn't buy in at first. I was hard headed and it took a couple months for me to get there. But as soon as I bought in and started just getting into the tribe, and I wanted to leave a few times. And there was a couple different occasions. I remember being in the little break room, like, I'm not coming back. I'm out of here. And they talked me into staying. Like, no, just stick around. No, stick around. And it's changed my life. I'm so glad I listened to it. I'm so glad I stuck with my commitment to go in. I'm so glad that I didn't give up. And don't give up while you're there, and get involved. You're going to get out of this program what you get out of this program. Meaning, if you get in there, you get to know people, you invest yourself, and you stay present, you get focused on the material, you get focused on the advice and the counselors, and start really learning and practicing the change that's trying to be taught, you're going to benefit a ton. You can go into that program with a closed mind and arrogant attitude and a thick skull like I did, and you're going to come out of there and be like, that place didn't teach me nothing. But really, you just didn't get anything out of it because you didn't get anything out of it. Like, you didn't dig it out of there. You got to get in there and dig it out.
Yeah. I like that you said that you were talking to people about wanting to leave. Because in my mind, a part of you means you're trying to get them also to convince you to stay. Because if you wanted to leave, you would have just left.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Probably. Maybe I was crying for help.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to verbalize how you're feeling. You might get something out of that too. And also surround yourself with the positive people, not the people that are grumbling about the program all the time.
Yeah. Stay away from the naysayers
that are in it and are trying to learn. Be one of those people. Our beeper just went off. The pot roast is about done.
Pot roast is almost done. Quick update for the Dodger fans out there. The Dodgers are up 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. No outs. Braves are up to bat.
I think you're going to do great, Britt. I'm actually really proud of you for going to inpatient. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool watching your journey, and I think this is going to be a good next step for you.
Christina says, I also checked myself in willfully. 11 days. They got me healthy, fed me way too much, but never made me feel ashamed. I hated to leave. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time in my program. I loved it.
I like that you said fed you way too much. That's like one sign where we know people are actually like working their program.
Yeah.
You could tell they're eating again. And it's like, it just puts a smile on my face every time.
It's like, oh, you gained a little heartwarming. Weight. Awesome.
It's a good thing. It's a good weight.
We'll deal with the weight later if it really bothers you, but thank God you're not eating, wheat thins and one at a time every 3 days and smoking crack.
Having good meals.
Whatever, it may be. Jim says that anxiety will go away when you get there. It'll turn into excitement from wanting to learn or anger from not wanting to be there. Amen. Eating everything in sight.
Get it. Do it.
Yeah.
Get your body some nutrition.
And Jamie's 100% right, Brittany. You are a woman of worth.
Yes.
Like, mic drop. Bam.
End the show.
That's it. We're out of here. Heck yeah, that is beautiful. And then a late comment, so I didn't get to post it in there, and plus it was over 200 characters, but it only allows me to put 200 characters in there. Morgan Green. Morgan, you still with us?
Yeah, are you still here?
You better still be here. I'm reading your comment because I love it. And I've seen this in you. Like, I tell Felice probably every 2 days, like, I'm so proud of Morgan right now. She says, I want to mention something. You know what? I'm going to screen share this. Then I can show y'all where this stuff is.
Oh, she's still here.
Okay, good. Hey. What do you see?
I don't see anything yet. Now I see clouds. Now it's tiny. There it is.
Now let's make it big. Let me put this over here so we can just do this. How's that look, y'all? Can you read that good?
There you go. That's better.
There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There it is.
Morgan Green. I'm so proud of her. You have no idea, y'all. So, comments. I want to mention something I realized that really helped me my first 100 days. Meaning, she's been clean longer than that. Finding and committing to a healthy routine with a minimum of 3 meetings a week. It has changed my life, she says. Spending 4 days a week with my RA tribe keeps me and my mind off of drugs. Physically keeps her away from the drugs and keeps her mind from thinking about drugs. Beautiful. I love it. Working out, meeting with genuine friends. Genuine friends. God, I'm glad you said that, because there is a thing as disingenuine friends. And once you disconnect from addiction, the disingenuine friends fall away. And thank God for it. Do we still love and care for them? Absolutely. Are they still hurting people? Absolutely. That we don't mean it that way. But for your mental health, you are in a different flock now. You're in the flock of the sober people who want to live happy and smile and laugh and raise children. You know what I mean? I love that. She says meeting with genuine friends and fun activities with other people who are sober. Can't wait for laser tag.
It's Friday.
So this Friday at 5 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock this Friday, if you're in our local program, join us. We're going to play laser tag. And this isn't that garbage you remember from the 90s.
Or BB guns, Jim. What?
BB guns are cool.
You played BB gun laser tag.
Well, duh. Who hasn't? Bumper bikes too.
Nobody plays bumper bikes.
He played bumper bikes.
Did you play bumper bikes?
This is like legit Black Ops. You have laser grenades, you get headshots, you got running, you got snipers. It's going to be a blast. Anyway, she says, makes me love my life. What? Can anybody else say this sentence right here? This schedule she keeps up here says, makes me love my life. How long has it been since you could say that, Morgan? That's a good question to ask. How long has it been since any of you in the chat could say, what I'm doing today makes me love my life? And I love that, because I'm always saying to people, is what you're doing in recovery working? It's a yes or no question. Yes, keep doing it. No, do something else. Morgan, keep doing it. She says, it makes me love my life for the first time in a long time. My schedule seems hectic from the outside, but it's becoming a lifesaver for me. My advice, here y'all, listen up. This is from Morgan. Find your sober, as my sponsor calls it, tribe. Love it.
Find it.
Find your sober tribe.
Yeah, we're proud of you, Morgan.
Morgan, that got me pumped up.
Pumped.
That was a good one. Damn.
We played anything that made us bleed. Of course you did.
Me too.
You guys are all more alike than you think.
Me and Jim, excuse me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good for you, Morgan.
Well, goodness, we got 10 minutes to get into this Understanding the Relapse Process book, which brings us to the third part of our show, Staying Sober, Terrence Gorski. I'm just going to get into this first chapter, or a little bit, it's chapter 6, whatever VI is, right? Is that 6?
I'm supposed to turn it off.
Understanding the Relapse Process. So if you have your books, we go through this book every Sunday. Staying Sober, a guide for relapse prevention. Terrence Gorski, amazing stuff. This is the stuff we do locally, and we're going through his workbook right now. What is relapse? Drop it in the chat. What is relapse? If you had to define it, if I gave you a test, wrote the word relapse, define this, what would you write? I'm going to wait for a sec, because I want y'all to answer it before I read this. Christina says, when I had a good couple of years, I tried lots of new things. Game night at a local place has cards and board games, rowing dragon boats. Just kept beautiful. Every time you try something new, you learn and grow. Trust me.
Morgan loves the way you read it.
I felt you, Morgan.
If you didn't bleed, was it really worth it? That's true.
Is that from Jim?
That's from Jeanette. That's not our dogs, right?
My goodness. There's some crazy dogs outside right now. All right.
Oh,
So
Jamie says, you were going to pause for a minute.
Go ahead.
Jamie is.
I'll take a sip. Still drinking Sprite, y'all.
Jamie says, relapse is being complacent from your sobriety. It is isolation. Let's see what John said. Absolute rather. I think he missed. Oh, rewording. Jim says, temporarily slipping back into old habits. Relapse. Come on.
I love it. You guys are
Type
like
faster. Link is blue now. His hair is blue.
Yeah,
Grandpa gave him some hair stuff.
Grandpa gave him some weird hair stuff.
And Amelia says,
relapse is insanity.
relapse is insanity.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Carla Bell says, relapse equals thinking
that leads to terrible decisions.
It makes it sound scarier when you say it like that.
Relapse. Stinking thinking that leads to terrible decisions.
Or a movie.
In a theater near you. What was that? 9:35.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
I love it. Y'all are all, you all
Rock.
know. Man,
Linky Rock.
it's like you read this book with me last time I went through it.
Did
What is
you?
relapse?
Thanks,
The
Jamie.
question is not easy to answer as it appears at first, but some of you got it, nailed it. To get an accurate answer, let us examine how the concept of relapse developed. Check this out. 1930s, right? We're going back in time. AA was done, or the book came out in 1935. So you're thinking about the Depression, right? Life's falling apart for people. World War II just got over and all that stuff, right? We're back in those old times. You can hear the train collies in New York. You can see the guy with their tops, hats, and black suits, and the girls in the kitchen cooking bread, way back in the day. And alcohol, anonymous, needed to be invented because the people couldn't get sober. So back then, this is how this concept developed from that time period. In the early days of AA, it says, in the mid-1930s, alcoholics were considered to have relapsed only when they began drinking again. So I grab beer, bam, that's the relapse. Relapse was defined simply as a return to alcohol use. As alcoholics started submitting to drug use for drinking, they became aware that alcoholics can't safely use any sedative drugs. Let me read that again. As alcoholics started substituting drug use for drinking, they became aware that alcoholics cannot safely use any sedative drugs. Alcohol is a sedative drug, and it is known that any sedative drug has an effect on the body similar to alcohol. Okay? Alcohol is a sedative drug and it has a similar effect. In fact, some professional people have begun using the term sedativism instead of alcoholism. Sedativism instead of alcoholism, because it is not the alcohol that is the problem, but the reaction of the body to the sedative drug. So relapse came to mean use of any sedative drug, including alcohol. If you used a sedative drug, you pop that in your mouth, you drank something, that's a relapse. This is how it all started to form into what we're going to learn today. With the common use of a variety of drugs in the 60s, some people began to be aware that any type of mood-altering drug could trigger relapse. Drug use such as amphetamines, marijuana, cocaine, or LSD have an effect on the body that is different from the effect of a sedative drug. But they can still change the mental and emotional state and impair judgment so that the person begins to move away from recovery. So they figured that if you took drugs of any sort, that's going to possibly move you away from recovery. They have the same behavior effect because they can cause you to feel good now and then cause the pain later, right? That's what us addicts like. If I take that, I know things are going to change. I'm going to feel good now, but later we're going to pay for it. And here comes the obsession, right? And that induces this obsession, the compulsion, and a loss of control. Abusing any drug or combination of drugs will also eventually cause a biopsychosocial damage. If you've been with us since the beginning of this book, we've learned that during our addiction, we have ruined three things. Our biopsychosocial, right? Bio is your body, your psycho is your mind, and your social being relationships. So we have to repair our biopsychosocial. It became clear that any mood-altering drug can reactivate the addiction cycle. That is why I cannot smoke weed. Weed's legal now, LT. What about California high? What about, there's gummies and it's good for medicine. Look, if I start taking gummies, I start eating brownies with weed and THC in it, that's a mind-altering drug for me that could reactivate this addiction cycle that it always does. My addiction kind of just goes... It takes a minute, but as soon as I hit, have you guys ever ridden a Yamaha 250, like a Suzuki 250, a KTM dirt bike, and there's a thing called a power band, right? You go wah wah, and all of a sudden that power band kicks, and that's when you can do wheelie, like it's crazy. That's my addiction. It's like wah wah. So that's why I don't smoke weed.
Sigma sober, he says. Sober singer, same LT. Sean, I can't smoke weed. would lead me back to alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, if weed works in your life somehow, some way, I'm not here to judge, but not this guy. So understanding of what relapse is has changed from, okay, this is kind of the highlighted portion, alcohol use. Okay. It changed from you used alcohol, you relapsed, to use of any sedative drug, to use of any mood altering drug. So it went from just solely being alcohol, you got to think back 1930s, to anything sedative, right? Because they're still just experimenting with drugs back in the 30s. They're still doing lobotomies on people. I mean, the medical and health industry and community has like improved a ton 2021, 2022. So it went from those three stages. And a lot of you were completely, exactly spot on. Stinking thinking, right? All that stuff is the preamble to using drugs. We learn, and we're going to learn it again here shortly from this book, that anytime you're going up the down escalator, the moment you stop moving forward in your recovery, you begin to move down. And when you hit the bottom, that's when you use drugs or alcohol. So anybody that has relapsed recently, anybody that has fallen off the wagon, so to speak, whatever you want to say, the moment you use drugs was not the relapse. You got to go back in your life and say, when did things change? What happened? How did I get off of the course? Where did this stinking thinking creep in? What did I stop doing that I was doing that actually worked? Right? Go back to that and then fix that. That's why we go through character defects, all of them. We analyze this stuff daily, 3 times a day if you have to, so that you can start understanding when your mind makes that switch, as so gradually it can, and throw the blind curtain of denial right back over your eyes. Before you know it, a month has passed and you're like grabbing drinks or drugs. So you got to be aware of your triggers, your behaviors, your attitude towards things, what's going to make you stop doing things that are good for you. And if you can be aware of it, the sooner the better, the faster you will prevent relapse, which in turn will keep you sober 17 years, 19 years, 10 plus years, like Jim and Dez and Bill, right? Guys we look up to, people who are still working a program that are coming up on 20 years, 2 decades, right? Dang, that's crazy. I've been alive 20 years twice.
I saw a thing on Facebook today that said if we went back in time the same amount as the Back to the Future guy, we'd go back to 1991.
Whoa.
Because he went back to 1955.
Whoa.
I was like,
We're old.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn. Sean, thank you,
Sean.
bro. Appreciate it.
Amanda says, does anything cause a relapse, or are some things okay?
We would definitely need to discuss that. Does anything cause a relapse? I mean, I could go anything, right? Does my hat cause a relapse? No. I would just need a little more clarification of what you kind of are thinking when you say anything. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
You're welcome, Emilia.
44 and feeling like 34 and not 64 anymore.
Dude, right? I got a good compliment today. We came back from mountain biking. I'm unloading the bikes in the shop or in the garage. And the guy's like, how old are you? I'm all 42. He's like, what? You look like you're 33. I was like, thank you.
That's nice.
He might have been, exaggerating a little bit, but I still got him. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. In my mind, 1990 and 2000 were both still 10 years ago.
Another mic drop tonight. I love it.
Jamie says you're looking 38.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you do look good, man. When you're out doing those little live streams or just those little video clips and you're talking to the microphone or the camera, I got to say, John, your countenance looks beautiful.
Jim says we got to work it every day, just like you guys.
Yeah.
All them people that have been working it for years now, every day still.
Yeah. Another thing real quick before we get out of here, check out our new website.
I like what Carlos said. Anything that triggers you in a negative way could potentially cause a relapse to start.
Boom.
There it is.
Boom. That's true. Carla's hit the nail on the head a couple times tonight. That is awesome.
High five. We learned where high five comes from too, by the way.
This is the venture forward. Oh yeah, do you guys know that high five came from baseball?
What?
1979.
Countenance. Good job, Morgan. Learned a new word. We've learned a new word.
I love it. You ready, Licky?
I'm ready.
All right, God.
God,
Grant me the serenity
to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Anything else you want to add, Licky?
don't have a good night. Have a great night.
Don't have a good night. Have a great night. I like that. And before we go, just an update. The LA Dodgers 4, Atlanta Braves are 2. We are in the bottom of the 8th, 1 out. We do have a dude in scoring position on second base with a guy up to bat, and they are
Morgan.
warming up Jensen in the bullpen right now to close this thing down. Let's go, Braves. What did Morgan say?
A woman.
Hey, did she say that again?
It's her new favorite
Oh
word.
my gosh, she said that the other night. I about fell down. That shit was so funny. John B says we recover better together by staying safe, staying sane, staying strong, and staying sober. You're worth it. Good night, family. I love you all. Y'all check out John V, the Venture Forward, on his YouTube, Facebook. He goes live as well as we do.
Also, check out the Sober Singer.
And the Sober Singer. He's been dropping his shorts on YouTube. I noticed. I love it. Until we are back live next Sunday.
Thank you, Tracy.
And I can figure out more times to get more episodes of stuff going on in here. Do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.